Right, so this is the, there's a WPL high power servo there, which may get fitted onto Little Blue, but that's why I bought it, so that I've got one. It's a bit bigger than what I've got in there, but it might work. We'll see how that goes, whether I need to put that on there or whether it's okay with what we've got in. What we've got here is the C34 KM gearbox. It comes with a motor with the gearbox attached to it, or the reduction gear. This can be unscrewed and transferred onto another motor. I know some people have done that. I think Liam Pickering has done that. So I may hit him up and see how that's done. If I need to up the can size from this 370. I've got two other 370s as spares if I need them. So that's the reduction gearbox in here. And then we've got the transfer case. Now, the reason we've gone for this one, or that I've gone for this one, is because, see there, very low profile, okay, which means that when it goes in under here, it's going to sit higher than what this is already. This is just a transfer case, it's not a gearbox, it's in there as a placeholder, but this is going to go, focus, in there. Okay, but I don't think there is a build on how you build one of these, so I am going to do a video on that, and it also comes with a set of drive shafts, and I'm going to do a bit on how you build the drive shafts as well. So we'll crack on with that now. Right, this is the section of the WPL C34 manual you'll need for putting together the gearbox transfer case setup. I've gone through, I've laid all the parts out, but this is what I'm going to be following. This is what I'm going to have in the background that I'm going to work on, and then I'll just now talk you through what you're going to need with you, and then we'll put it all together. So tools are pretty easy. You need a screwdriver, and you'll need, focus, a 1.5mm hex for the grub screws. And here's all the parts laid out. So obviously we've got the motor and the transfer case. You've got the two sides of the transfer case. You've got the two gears. This is the one that mounts onto the end of the motor, the one with the pinion out the end, or the spindle out the end. This one will have this go through it, and you've got your three bearings. You've got two grub screws, which are the ones that go into these two gears here. Two different lengths of screws. So these smaller ones are the ones here that we're going to go through the case to hold the case together, and these fatter ones with the closer pitch on it are what's going to go through the case here and here into here to hold it in place. So I'm going to crack on with that first phase now. So that's the first bit done. These two arms are there. Next we're going to put the put this onto here. How the heck am I supposed to do the grub screw up on that? I have no idea on how we're supposed to get that grub screw done up on there. That is really interesting. Can you see the tolerance there? How am I supposed to do that? Yes, turn the motor over so that we've got it, can go at it from this side, because the flat spot's there, so I just need to turn that over. Okay. Silly thing, simple thing, now sorted. And I need to get a little plastic dish to put some Loctite in, although I haven't Loctited those ones. I might Loctite the grub screws, but yeah, so that's the next bit. Little tip with the grub screw: if you put the grub screw on the end of this first, it's going to make it easier. that's all in, fully seated. So that should now come clear. And that's now fully mated onto there. There's a little bit of play, which is quite good. That's okay. Okay, next step. Right, we're going to do this side one, which is easier because obviously you can do it outside of the casing. And then I'm going to put some blue grease on the bearings before I slide the bearings into place and seal the case. So you can see there, I've just mounted that into there, and that should now come out, and that's not going anywhere. And one of these bearings sits on the outside of this, and the other one sits the other side of it, in the case here, because there's a little bit in there for the bearing to sit into. So what I may do is put the bearing in there and then push this in and sit that side, and we'll do that next. I don't know if you can see, I just put some of the blue lithium in there. That goes in the middle there, that pushes into there, and that is now fully seated and mated. So I'm now going to put some grease around. I can do that actually live on camera. Grease your shaft, and then I'm going to put a big dob in the middle of the gears because, you know, we want them working well, don't we? So that's that one done. And then in the back of this one, put a dob in there. That one on there. Like that. And then put a dob in there. Okay, I should put that one in there. So last bit, I'm going to pack some grease into here. I've greased and put in those sides, and we're going to be putting those in together.
What you're saying.
So there is all greased up, and now we'll just put it together and seal it together with these two screws, and then we are done. And there you go, that's it all together. These 4 screws here are the 4 screws for mounting it through the body, through these. So those are what those 4 are for. So that'll be the next things, but first I'm going to get it wired up so that we can test it all out of the chassis and that everything's all working. But that's it, that's how simple it is to put that all together and get that all working. Okay, next we'll look at the drive shafts. Right, so this is how you put together the WPL drive shafts. This is the section from the manual. You do have 2 options for length. I'm going to put one of the longer ones and one of the shorter ones together, so we won't be needing one of those. We can put that to one side. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and we'll crack on with it as per the instructions on there. All the parts are here, so you've got your grub screws, which will be using a 1.5mm hex end. You've got your little barrel nuts, you've got your spring clips which go over the top to stop these pins coming out. It's a really cool slick design, so yeah, I will crack on and get on with that. First thing is to slide that into there. That then has one of these, and you need to find the lining up hole. See that? And that goes onto there. And then this is where you need multiple hands, and because I'm trying to film, it makes it even more difficult. you put that into that hole there, which goes into, try it again. I am wondering whether if I put a little bit of grease in, that's going to help hold it in place, but who knows. Let's see if doing it that way on and holding it down like that actually helps hold that, so we can then get that into there and push the pin. Right, so that is going in there okay, so that's okay. You can see it's a lot of fun. Right, I'm going to pause it and then put this back when that's in. Right, that is now on. The next thing is to put one of these spring clips over so that that then holds that in place. Okay, and I thought that taking them from the back might be an idea because we've got the slopey bit there, but we'll see whether that is the best way or not in a second. The answer is yes, indeed it is. So that's now on, so those pins won't come out. Then you need to do that 4 more times to do the other 3, or sorry, 3 more times to do the other ones. 1 on here, and 1 on there, and 1 on there, which I will do off camera and come back to you. Just a little thing I found now, I've done a couple of these, if you just make sure that you clear those there, that second one went in perfectly. Right, that's those all fitted onto the end. Once you've done the first one, it gets a lot easier from there on. So the next thing to do will be to fit the grub screws into the end. And obviously I'm not going to screw them all the way in, but what I will do is put them in there part way so that we don't lose the grub screws, and the grub screws are in there, and then I'll bag all of these up together. But fitting these bits in is relatively easy. That goes into there. That's that one together. That one goes onto there. And that's it, that drive shaft and that drive shaft, and then we just need to put the grub screws in the end, which I'll do now, and then we're done. So there we go, the finished part all together, and they've got the thing there. Obviously if you get too far you have got a bit of a floppy, but that should be fine. So that's that all done.